Hi and welcome back to Let's Crochet. Today I'm going to be doing some Christmas decorations. I know it's only the end of October, but it'll soon be here. So these are light bulbs. I've not used bright colours because I know a lot of people get decorations for the decor of the house, and a lot of people have neutral and browns and greys. I've only done one red one just to show you how they look when you've got bright colours. And I have been using cotton and also my 3.5mm crochet hook. This is the connector of the light bulb, as you can see, but because it's in black I'm going to do it in white just so you can see how to do it and you'll be able to see the stitches as I go around. So it's quite easy and it's been fun to do. So I'll get everything sorted out and I'll come back to you in a sec. Right, I've got everything sorted out now. So like I said, the bottom should be made out of black cotton, if that's what you want to do. You can probably use any colour cotton if you like, if you want to be different, but it is made in black cotton. But I'm going to use the white so I can show you how to do it. So I'm going to do a magic ring and then just fasten that off like that. And we're going to put we're going to put 6 single crochets into this circle. So put your hook into the loop, grab the yarn, pull it through, put your hook into the loop, grab your yarn through 2 stitches and pull your yarn through, grab your yarn through the loop, 2 stitches, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then you just pull the end of the yarn and close the circle. Let me just move this out of the way. I do need my hook, but I don't know where it is. I'm just going to have to go find it. I found my marker, and you do really need to use a marker on this project. But if you haven't got a marker, just use a strand of string and put it into the stitch where you're counting. So I'd advise you, if you haven't got any of these, I'd buy some. Best thing I've ever bought. Right, so let's begin. So you're going to put your hook into the first stitch there, and it's a bit difficult. Once you get the first one going, it's quite easy, and then you pull your yarn through the chain. You've got 2 stitches, and then just pull it through, and then you get your hook, put it into the 2 stitches at the back, and then you put another stitch in the same chain because we're doing 12. So you're going to be putting 2 stitches into the chain. That's 4, and then you put 1, 5, 6. So you're putting 2 single crochets into 1 stitch. 7, 8, 9, 10. Just let me pull the yarn a little bit. 10. 11, 12. You're not joining the circle or anything, just pull your tail of the yarn to close it. It's just going to be a continuous circle. So we should have 12 stitches in this circle. So we're just going to do 1 continuous round. So we have put 1 single crochet into that chain, 1 single crochet into that chain, and all the way around. So you should have 12 stitches in the circle. I'll come back to you when I get to the end of the marker. So we've got 12 stitches around here. So we started with a magic ring, putting 6 single crochets in, then we doubled that to 12, and then we've just done a single row. Well, you can't say it's a row, can you? Single circle of 12 stitches. So the next row is going to be 18 stitches. We're going to add 1. So we'll put 1 single crochet into that first chain. Put my marker into that space at the back, and then we're going to put 2 single crochets into this next chain. So that's 3, and then 1 single crochet into the next one, that's 4, and then 2 single crochets into that one, so it's 6. So if you carry on putting 1 single crochet into that next chain, 2 single crochets into that chain, then 1 single crochet, then 2 single crochet, you should have 18 stitches in this circle. So we should have 18 stitches on this circle now. So what we're going to do next is, so we can make the connector to go up, we're going to be putting the next 18 stitches into the back loop. So you put single crochet into the back loop of the chain. So that's 1. So all these next single crochets are going to be all in the back loop of the single of the chains that we've got. So that's 3, 4. So go all the way around this circle into the back loop, and when you get there you should have 18 back loop single crochets. I'll come back to you once we get here. So we're at the 18th stitch, the back loop, single crochet. So the next 3 rows, 5, 6, 7, sorry, the next 4 rows is going to be just single crochet all the way around. So I'll just tell you what I mean by that. And we're not going into the back loop, we're going to go in all of the chain. So put your hook underneath the chain, grab the yarn, pull it through, single crochet, put my hook back into there. So we're going to do 18 single crochets all the way around for the next 4 rows. So we should have 4 rows of 18 single crochet. So that's 5, and then you've got 6, 7, 8. You've got 3 more rows after this. So I'll come back to you when I've finished the 8th row. So I'm nearly at the end of the 8th row. So we should have 18 single crochets on this row. And that is the last row. So what I do is I put a slip stitch in there to join that off, and then just pull the yarn through and then cut it off. So you should have like a flat bottom, and turn it inside out if you've not turned it out. So the joining of the chain, the beginning of the chain the yarn should be inside. I'll get there eventually. Right, because I've used this in white, like I said, you can make them in any way or any colour you want. And now we're going to make the light bulb. So again, we'll use a magic ring. So you pull the yarn through, fasten it off. If you can hear any noise in the background, it's my cat Purdy. He is a very bad boy, and he has got a girl's name because we thought it was a little girl before we got him to the vets. I think he's gone now. So if you ever hear any noise in the background, it's either my cat or my dog, and they always make loads of noise when I'm trying to film. So we're going to put 6, so I do apologise. So we're going to put 6 single crochets into this loop. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just going to pull some of this cotton off this ball of yarn, ball of cotton. Right, so we're just going to pull this tail and then just pull it round so you can close the circle. So we're going to put 2 single crochets into the first chain. Like I said, when you always get the first one, it's always easy after that. So I'll put my marker in. So 2 single crochets into the first chain, and then 2 single crochets into the second chain, 2 single crochets into the 3rd chain, and altogether we should have 12 single crochets. So I'll come back to you when we get to the end. So I'm at the end of that row, so we should have 12 single crochets all the way around. So now we're just going to do 1 row of 12 single crochets. So that's 1, put my marker in, 2, all the way around to 12, 3. I'll come back to you once I get to the 12 stitch. So I've got to the last stitch, so we've got 12 stitches on there. So the next row we're going to add more stitches, and it's going to be 18. So we've just done 1 single crochet into the 1st stitch, put my marker on. So the next chain we're going to put 2 single crochet to that stitch, and 1 into that stitch, and then 2 single crochet into that next chain, and all the way around we're going to put 1 single crochet into that chain, 2 single crochet, 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, till we come to the end, and we should have 18 stitches at the end of this row. So I've just got to the end of that row, so we should have 18 stitches on that row. So we're going to just do 1 single row of 18 stitches. So it's going to be 1 single crochet all the way around till we get to the marker. So that's 1 single crochet, 2, and all the way around till the 18. So I'm at the end of this row. We've done 18 continuous stitches to the end. So the next one we're going to be increasing. So we're going to put 24 stitches in. So the next stitch is 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then 2 single crochet into the next stitch. So we should have 4 single crochets altogether. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So we put 1 single crochet into the next chain, 1 single crochet into the next chain, and 2 single crochets into the next chain. So we should have 24 stitches when we get to the end. I'll come back to you when we get back to the end of this marker. So I'm nearly at the end of this row, so I'm just putting my last 2 single crochets into this chain. So I'm just going to turn it inside out, so the tail of the yarn where we started you can put inside. So the next 3 rows is going to be 24 stitches all the way around. So it's 24 stitches, that's one row, then another 24 stitches, that's 2 rows, and then another 24 stitches, that's 3 rows. So 3 rows of 24 stitches, single crochet stitches. So I'll get back to you when we're finished the last stitch. So I've almost come to the last stitch of the 3 rounds that we should have done of 24 single crochet. So the next round is we're going to still be increasing the rounds to 30. We're going to be putting 30 stitches in the next one. So we put this first single crochet into there, and I'll just put my marker in there. So we're going to do 3 single crochet, 2, 3, and then 2 single crochet into this stitch. So we should have 5 single crochet altogether. So that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and then 2 in this stitch. So we should have 30 stitches by the time we get to the end of this next round. So I'll come back to you when I get to this marker. So I'm nearly at the end of this round. That's 2 single crochets into the last stitch. So the next round we will be doing is we're just going to be putting one single crochet in all the chains to the end of this marker. So that's just going to be one single row of single crochet of 30 stitches. So if I put one single crochet into the next stitch, into the next chain, sorry, put my marker. So that's 30 single crochets all the way to the end of here. So I'll come back to you when we get to the end of this row. So I'm almost at the end of this single crochet round of 30 stitches. There's the last one. So the next round we will be decreasing down to 24 stitches. So put one single crochet into that chain. I'll put my marker on. So we put 3 single crochet into the next chain. So that's one single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet. So now we will be decreasing. So if you put your hook in the front of the loop of the chain, that one, and then put your hook in the front of the other chain, you have got 2 stitches on there. So wrap your yarn around the hook and then wrap your yarn, pull it through. So that's one single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, and this is called an invisible decrease. So you put your hook in the front loop of one stitch and then put your hook underneath the second chain of the front loop, pull the yarn through both chains. It is a bit tricky if you're just learning, and then pull it through. Just show you one more time. So we're doing 3 single crochet, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, and then we put the hook in front of the first chain, and then you put your hook in front of the other chain. So you've got 2 stitches on your hook. Wrap the yarn around the hook and pull it through the 2 stitches, and then pull it through single crochet. I'll meet you when we get back to here. I'm at the end of that row with the decrease. So the next row we're going to be decreasing, and we're doing 2 single crochet. So we put this hook into that chain and do a single crochet. That's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, and then we're going to do an invisible decrease. You put your hook into the front loop of the chain, and then you put your hook into the second front loop of the chain, pull your yarn through and single crochet. That's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, put your hook in the front loop of that chain and into the second chain into the front loop, grab your yarn through, pull it through, and that's a single crochet. So I'll come back to you when we get to the end of here, and we should have 18 stitches on the round. And I'm at the end of that round. So what we're going to do next is we're just going to do 1 single round of single crochets. So we should have 18 stitches in this next round. So we're just doing 18 stitches all the way around till we get to the end of here. So that's 1 single crochet, 2 single crochet, 3 single crochet, all the way till we get round, and we should have 18 single crochet. I'll come back to you once I get to the end of this round. Right, I'm nearly at the end of this round. So 17, 18. Just looking at the next round that we have to do. So the next one is going to be 1 decrease sorry, 1 single crochet, and I can just get the marker into my chain at the back, and we're doing 1 decrease. So you put your hook into the front loop of the chain and the hook into the next front loop of the other chain, so we pull the yarn through, and that's a invisible decrease. So we're just going to put 1 single crochet, then a decrease, and then 1 single crochet, and then a decrease. And I'll come back to you when we get to the end, and we should have 12 stitches remaining. Right, I'm back now. So what I'm going to do is, where the chain is here, is I'm going to put this needle above into here, and then just sew around. It is a little bit tricky, I must admit. And then what you do is, well, it's entirely up to you how you sew it on, but I go through the chain at the top of this connector and sew it round, and then just sew around. You don't have to do it 1 stitch at a time. I've just been putting it in like a slip stitch. And just be careful, because the stuffing will probably fall out. And then just get the next one, and then just pull it round, and then like again just do a slip stitch just above the chain, and then just sew it above the chain, and then again at the top, and then just pull it through. Just pull it tight, and then at the top of the chain pull it through. Oops. Like so. I'll come back to you once I've finished this. Right, I've got all the way around. I've not put a lot of stitches in this connector because I didn't leave a long enough thread, so it's my own fault. So what I normally do is I put the stitch inside the connector and try, if you can, get a loop so you can sew it in. I'm making it a job a lot harder than what it actually is. So if I can just grab that, that's it. So I've tied that off. So I'll show you a trick if you've ever got a short yarn. Put your needle into whatever it is you're sewing, and then just get to the end of it. You watch, you probably won't be able to do it now. That is my cat trying to get into a bag. I've done it. And then you just pull your yarn out at the top of the needle, at the top, like so, and then just pull it through like that. Done. And then you just clip it off. But I would make sure, if you do these, make sure you leave yourself a bit more of a tail on an end on your connector. So that is the light bulb finished. I shall show you the next bit, what you do, in just 1 sec. I'm just going to go sort these cats out. I do apologise. Right, I've sorted the cats out. Hopefully they won't make no more noise. So what you do now is I'll just take this chain out of here. You see the beginning of the magic ring we made? Put your hook inside. It is a bit difficult. It's just so that when you're chaining your connector to the chain, it should just go on perfectly. So what you do, pull that through. Easier said than done. I've made all these without any problem, and now because I'm actually trying to show you what to do, I can't do it. Just push that through. Then you get your chain. Try and push it, pull it all the way through so it connects to this. So the chain connected to the connect, that's it, there we go. And then you just chain how many chains you want on. I've done 20 chains between each, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You don't want me to carry on counting, you know what 20 chains are, don't you? So what we're doing now, I shall show you what we've done, taking it away from the shop, is you get your yarn or cotton, whatever it is, you chain 50, and then you connect your chain to the bottom of your magic ring where you first started, the row 1 and row 2, put your hook in between there and then do a chain so you can connect it like that. You can see the shadow, can't you? I do apologise. And then do 20 chain, connect it again underneath into the first and second row, 20 chain, connect it again, 20 chains, connect it again, 20 chains. So these are the light bulbs decoration that I have done for Christmas, even though it's not Christmas yet. Anyway, I hope you've liked these videos, and if you have, please subscribe and I'll put another one up again soon. Bye for now.